Oh, hi. Didn't see you there behind all this trash. Hi, my name's Old Sneaky Pete, and today we're going to be showing you how to make a deck box for your commander decks out of this garbage. You may recognize this from a pre-release. Some of the things we're going to want: tape, Christmas wrapping tape, which works all right. Clear packing tape here, it works a lot better. We're going to need scissors, a pencil, a Sharpie. You could use a pen. We've got an X-Acto knife here, a hobby knife, but having a razor blade is going to be huge. It's going to help you make clean corners. We've got glue. Glue works together with the tape. My glue doesn't set very fast, so we're going to use tape to hold the box. Let's get to today's sponsors. There are none. It's me. Subscribe. The last thing you're probably going to want is a pre-existing deck box to work with. We're definitely going to be using this as our model to trace. Big shout out this guy, the Cardboard Stencil Company. I saw his post on Reddit. He was making boxes out of cardboard, and I was like, I can do that. So I watched 2 of his videos here. Another shout out to my favorite deck boxes here, these cubes. I love them. They're cute, but I just cannot keep spending money on them. So the flat top one that we have here, like Edge of Eternity style or Creative Energy here, you can do these tall ones like Final Fantasy and Lord of the Rings. The only thing with this box is the source material. I was looking at it and I'm thinking there's not going to be enough here to work with to create a tall box. And I rearranged some stuff, and I think the flat box was the answer. So we will take this and bust it at the seam. If you look inside, the seam is here. So we can slowly and easily work back the glue to bust this box wide open. There we go. We've busted the box open. I did make one of these the other night, and what I've learned is the soft pattern that we're going to go with already. So I know that we're not going to need this area with these big bust out magic symbols. To make this easier to work with, I'm going to start reducing it down in size right away. This one, we're going to cut right here. Making sure to leave a little bit of meat on this flap there. Same thing to the other side. Just gonna cut this little bit off. So now we have a piece that's a little easier to work with. I can take this one, set it aside for later. When I was looking at this box, the first thing that struck me was the tip of this lid here would serve as the latch of this lid. Line the factory folds up there, and that's going to be our first starting point. So with these 2 folds lined up, the first thing that jumps out to me is there's not a lot of meat going left and right on this board. So we almost want to pick one side or the other. And then as we get to the back plate here, one side's going to be a raw edge and one side's going to have extra meat that we can fold over and glue onto. Looking at this side of the box, I think the side with the graphic that says magic is better than the side that says pre-release with the red bar. Okay, here we have the box lined up on the inside. The factory folds are lined up here, and we're lined up on this edge flush. Now I picked a box Creative Energy that I'm not too perturbed about getting a little Sharpie on the corners. Get too perturbed. And then let's make a little notchy right about there. And then bring this line back. This side is going to fold over and be the flap here, so we can extend this line out right there. Right about there. All right, now I will agree that this is kind of a janky build. These deck boxes would prefer to be made out of one continuous piece. And to make the pre-release kits work, we are going to make the box out of 3 pieces. Let's cut this corner out. And then these corners. Here's our first piece. It's got one functional fold here. It needs to fold here. It has a fold here. We don't like that. We want to fold it here and here. Make a mark right there. There's my mark there. And then we will lightly score a line along that line with the knife. We're only going to just barely cut the inside edge. Now, if we bend this back first to expose our cut, it will bend inwards a little better. Right? A nice, easy bend. Alright, make a little mark there. There. Alright, bend them back. Expose the cut and bend it forward. Alright, now we have the bottom, the back wall, a left glue tab, the top, and the insert. Let's get another piece going. So with this in place, my next instinct is to wrap the left wall around the front. With our leftover piece here, we've got, only so much to work with. And I was thinking this magic symbol would make a good sidewall. So this would be the floor tab. This would be the front wall. This is a floor tab. And you end up with this corner shell here. Hair of an edge here, I do not like. I'm going to try and trim that a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and mark that. Indicate that right there. A wing wall here. Get this line right here. And then this is going to be a glue tab here, so we will indicate that there. This is going to get cut there. That's probably going to be a tab as well. Let's take that corner out. And right here is going to be a cut and fold line. Hold that back, bend it forward. Ooh, we're gonna need another tab there. That's got to be close enough. All right. Put all that together, and you've got yourself the start of a nice little deck box. All right, here's a problem I remember encountering on the Zuko box is this double piece here does not want to fold. So we're just going to cut it. All right, thank you to the razor blade. We got a nice clean cut there. Looks great. We found our first target for gluing and taping. This tab here to join the back to the left and the front. So we will go ahead and slap some glue down here. Spread it around like a glue stick. That's this one, that's this one. They go here. All right, now we're going to put a piece of tape to help hold the glue. All right, so we bring the left and the bottom together. And that's going to look better with these on the inside. I'm noting right there just how close this tab is to that tab. And then let's go ahead and put some glue on it. Right about there. Let's go on the inside first where it's hard to reach. And then we'll throw one on the outside. Smoke and mirrors, fellas. You just put a tiny piece of tape right there. It's gonna help the glue set. It's starting to come together. So close, no matter how far. Never cared for what they say. And I know. Get another little piece of tape. Put it on your deck box my own way. Alright, so we've got the back wall, the left wing, the front wall, a glue tab for the right wall, a glue tab for the right wall. We just need a right wall. Let's get to cutting. Okay, guys, this is our last piece of cardboard from the pre-release kit wrap. So the right wall's definitely gonna have the UPC on it, and one of these flaps is going to be the bottom. You also definitely want to make sure that you're cutting the right side that you need. So definitely refer to the deck box. we're going with the right wall here from my perspective. This one has got a glue flap in the front and a raw edge in the back. So I would like to have a glue flap in the back to meet the raw edge and a raw edge in the front to meet the glue flap. So look at this. This looks pretty good right here. I've got a glue flap in the back. Cut here. I'm going to freehand this one. Wish me luck. That piece should go inside, inside, inside. And this tab looks kind of ugly on the outside, so we're going to hide that on the inside. I'll make a little mark there and a little mark there. And we're just going to go ahead and make a spot for that to come on through. That should do it. Insert tab A into slot B. And preload a piece of tape here. And we're going to go ahead and slap that on down. The little tab there, and sneak a line of glue in there. And maybe for good measure, a teeny piece of tape. All right, that's joined pretty well now. Let's go with this seam and this seam kind of at the same time. We're just going to close it like a door. All right, let's go ahead and close this flap up. That was a convenient rip. It just turned one piece of tape into two. It wants a piece of tape there on the inside. This is the hard part, trying to get a little piece of tape on the inside when the box is pretty much fully constructed at this point. There we go. And we'll hit one on that opposite joint as well. And that's pretty much the inside and outside of every joint has got a tiny piece of tape on it. The one last thing that the Precon has is a couple of slits here in the thing. So we will take our scissors and just put a slight cut there and a slight cut there, right on the factory edge, and that should catch on these side wing walls. There you have it, folks, a Katara box for your commander deck. Let's test it out. Here we've got 100 cards and a thick cardboard card, a bunch of tokens. All right, it holds. There we go. One commander deck in a box. Look at that. And that's how you turn trash into treasure. Alright, I hope you guys had fun today making your deck boxes. Make sure to check out our sponsor today, me, and smash that subscribe button. Thanks so much. Bye.